Hi, it's Jill, healthcare IT specialist with Easy Tech Compliance that collaborates with KMC University. And there's some of those HIPAA questions that come in. And this one we get a lot. And it's, hey, Jill, can we use an iPad? Is it HIPAA compliant for our sign-in, our kiosk? And I always think those are loaded questions because unless we assess how it's being used, as well as the relationship with the vendor, the type of vendor, security that's set on the actual iPad, where it's located. So there's a lot of questions, and that's why usually it turns into a consultation. But I will tell you this, it can be compliant. So when you're using an iPad for a kiosk that kind of configures with your electronic health records for check-in, I'll tell you, we'll find some of the things that are scary. And that is an iPad that's used from home. The iPad's Apple ID is not a business ID. It's kind of like an ID they have for all their personal devices, their other personal devices. So it's not clearly separated from business. The iPad is linked to the iCloud. So maybe they're saving images or information and forms. iCloud is very specific in their terms of use. It cannot store or transmit healthcare information. So in order to use an iPad, you want to make sure you have it's set up with a business Apple ID separate from your other personal items. You want to make sure that the tracking is configured and GPS tracking, the ability to remote wipe, all those settings are in place. But the most important thing is to enable the iOS guided access. So I'll just say that again, iOS guided access. Unless you have a mobile device management system or something like that, guided access is built in to the software, and it allows it to be used in a healthcare setting, which means it only will be able to be used for the app that you have, the healthcare app. You can't go to messages, you can't go to Safari, you can't go to files. It strictly reduces all the ability to use it for anything else. That way, when we get a crazy little teenager that knows how to do these things, they won't be able to. And if it winds up missing or stolen, it will be password protected, which encrypts it. It will have the remote access to be able to wipe it, and also there's no way they can do anything else on it because guided access is enabled. So keep these things in mind. Also, just make sure with your vendor that the services that they're offering, for example, you have an electronic health record and you keep adding on all these little cool services, whether it be the kiosk or backup or emailing or texting, whatever the service is, a lot of it has a shared responsibility approach. What does that mean? It means somewhere in the terms of use, when you sign that contract, you agreed to have certain security settings enabled or to maintain certain things. And if you don't, and there is a breach, guess what? It's not going to be the vendor's fault. It's going to be yours. That's that shared responsibility approach. So don't just check mark and accept terms. Really read them over. Make sure you're living up to them and abiding by them, and all the configurations are correct. Because even with a signed business associate agreement, I get that a lot, or the promise that it's a HIPAA compliant vendor, with a share responsibility approach, that's a legal agreement. You have agreed to maintain certain things and enable or configure your side of using that device or that software a certain way. And if you didn't, then you're not being compliant with the business associate agreement. So even if the breach was on the other side, like your vendor, more than likely they could point the finger at you for dropping the ball. So keep these things in mind. If I just made your head explode, give us a call, book a consult or something to that extent with KMC University, and we'll get you on the right track.